What's going on, everybody? Nick with Combat Sports World, official partner of the third largest MMA Facebook group in the world, UFC MMA Fight Club. Speculation is one thing that never goes well in MMA, and in times like these with COVID, with not knowing when our next event's going to be, with not knowing who's even going to be in our next event, all we can do is speculate. So let's have some fun. It seems as if Khabib Nurmagomedov is not going to be competing against TONY Ferguson. He says send location. He said just send location. But then he goes back to Russia. There's reports saying that Russia shut down all of their flights to and out of the country. But then there's also people that are saying that Khabib was able to be granted personal private access, which means he can take a private jet. Him and all his accompanying team can take a private jet to go wherever to leave country. Now, I don't have any basis behind this, guys, but I have some insider information, so take this with a grain of salt. I was told by somebody who would know that 3 weeks ago now, Khabib Nurmagomedov was knocked out in sparring. If this is true, then it would make sense as to why he went from send location to let's postpone this a little bit. Now, once again, I, of course, did not see it. And the game of telephone is a very, very bad one to play, especially in this sport. But I was told by somebody who would know that Khabib was knocked out 3 weeks ago in training camp. Regardless of if that's true or not, it does seem as if Khabib has completely pulled out of the contest. He will not be fighting. So who do we have next? If the fight's even going to go on. Should the fight even go on? Post your opinions down in the comments below. Me personally, I think at this point, as a fight fan, of course I am dying to see a contest. But at the same time, poor Tony Ferguson. For his sake alone, let's cancel this event, guys. Tony's next fight, regardless, should be against whomever for the official 155-pound belt. Not interim, not Justin Gaethje, not Conor McGregor. Khabib next. All right, I know. When this fight was made, we told ourselves, you know what? This is the 5th time. There's nothing. There's nothing that is going to stop this contest from happening. And it takes, and imagine that. Imagine that. A worldwide pandemic, a virus that's sweeping the entire world that nobody knows how to combat, just so happens to show up. It's curse fight. I mean, there has to be Vegas betting odds at this point if Khabib and Tony will even ever fight. And I bet that it's pretty close odds if there was one. Just for the sake of us talking and speculating, because it's fun, because that's what we do as fight fans, especially when there's no fights going on, we have to talk about it. We have to talk about something. So let's say that Dana White says skip it. We're going to go ahead with this contest. I got a buddy right now, Matt Sales, who's still in training camp because his management has told him that this fight is still going to happen. This contest, this event is still going to be held. Matt Sales is still training. Matt Sales is still cutting weight. So if his management tells him the event's still going on, let's just assume that the event's still going on. Who does Tony Ferguson face? Now, it seems like everybody, including myself, forgot that April 1st was April Fool's Day because we have John Kavanaugh saying there might be a third option, ... going on and trolling, of course. But if it's not going to be Conor McGregor, which I doubt that it would be, granted, Conor McGregor will have most people sitting at home sit and buy, but pay-per-views probably aren't that smart right now in general because of people being scared that they're not going to know where their next paycheck is coming from if they're not essential, like myself. Unfortunately, that's why you see me in the high-res jacket at night, waiting to see in a snowstorm during COVID-19 who is going to work. But still, you can make so much more money with Conor McGregor if you have a build-up to a camp. And not to mention, with people like Conor, with people like Jorge, with people like Henry Cejudo, people that have this sort of win-fight hype, which means if they lose fight, their hype goes down. There are people like Frankie Edgar. Win or loss, Frankie Edgar's going to draw the same amount. There are people like Joanna, people like Zhang Wei Li. Win or loss in their previous contest, they will more than likely draw the same amount in their next. But people like Henry Cejudo, people like Conor McGregor, people like especially Jorge Masvidal, if they lose their next fight, their fight after that more than likely will not draw as much. Now, Conor McGregor has a little asterisk next to his name, of course. We've seen his numbers fluctuate up and down. But that's the thing with Conor McGregor, is that with a full fight camp, with that amount of time to build up the fight, Conor McGregor, despite coming off of a loss, can still turn the tides back and draw even more numbers than the previous. But do you want to lose stock on Conor McGregor with having him come in on last-second notice to fight Tony and possibly lose? And on top of that, do you want to miss out on how much revenue just the build-up for Conor McGregor's fights brings? I don't think so. Does the UFC really care about Tony Ferguson's stock? I'm going to say no. It's unfortunate. Tony's a savage. I love Tony Ferguson. But I don't think that the UFC cares too much if Tony Ferguson wins or loses. I would say the UFC, from a business standpoint, would rather have Tony Ferguson lose to Khabib or Tony Ferguson lose to Conor McGregor. So there's an even more shot, there's an even bigger chance then, is what I'm trying to say, that Tony Ferguson gets placed in against somebody. Who is that somebody? It's seeming to be Justin Gaethje, but we haven't heard anything official come out from Justin Gaethje's camp from what I know. I also have an insider source that trains with Justin, and I haven't seen him post anything. I haven't seen him talk about Justin possibly fighting, which, knowing this individual, I would have heard something by now. Now, Justin Gaethje was supposed to be the backup for this fight, which means that prior to the COVID coming out, Justin Gaethje was supposed to be in training camp, getting ready, getting the preliminary phases, getting his diet right to start cutting the weight to get down to 155. So there's no reason why Justin Gaethje should not be in shape for this contest. If he is then going to take it. Which the same cannot be said about Conor McGregor. The same cannot be said against anybody else at 155 as of this moment. So if it's not going to be Justin Gaethje, then who could it be? Is Ally Quinta going to pull another one on us? But I think if it is going to happen, it will more than likely not be Justin Gaethje. But then we go back to, once again, my last thoughts of, with COVID being a thing, with people being scared, with people wanting to hoard their money because a lot of people don't know when their next paycheck is going to come. Are they going to be willing to go and buy that pay-per-view? I personally don't think so. Will the fight do good numbers overall? Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of people illegally streaming it out there. You bet that after all this time with no sporting events going on, none whatsoever, and that could be something that the UFC is hoping for, that since there's absolutely no sporting events whatsoever, that will draw more fans from other events to watch the UFC because it will be the only one going on. I also know that if you're watching this video right now, especially at this point, you and I both are going to find some sort of way to watch that card, from early prelim to main event to post-fight to we will be talking about every single minute detail that occurs because there is nothing else going on. Me, I don't care about any other sport, any other sports outside of combat sports. This is combat sports world. But even the people that like football, the people that like basketball, the people that like golf, tennis, they're going to be more so likely to come and watch this event, get in tune and get enthralled due to the fact that there's just nothing else to talk about. It's difficult to sit and speculate about basketball. How the Lakers going to do when they go against the Dallas Mavericks? Ha, 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 ha. It's difficult to speculate about those things. There's not very much that you can break down. It's pretty cut and dry. With mixed martial arts, I could make a 20-minute video every day for the next 10 days speculating about mixed martial arts. I mean, I could sit down and do the research and start telling you the in-depth details about Tony Ferguson versus Justin Gaethje in and of itself. How do the leg kicks of Justin Gaethje fare against Tony Ferguson? Tony Ferguson with his awkward head movement in and out of the pocket, very elusive style with still somehow being right in front of you, doesn't negate the fact that his legs don't move. Not that he doesn't move his legs, but the legs are so much more easy to hit. So does the leg kicks of Justin Gaethje offset that awkward movement of Tony Ferguson? Tony Ferguson also likes to strike from awkward angles, which means when put into a bad position, striking-wise, Tony Ferguson is more likely than your average fighter to throw back from that position instead of choose to regain position over striking. So, do the leg kicks of Justin Gaethje throw Tony Ferguson out of position? Tony Ferguson, being a savage, still choosing to strike from that bad position, which sets up Justin Gaethje's strikes because Justin Gaethje's in your face from the jump. He doesn't stop coming forward. In your face, constant pressure. What do you got? Do they stand right in front of each other and bang? Does Tony Ferguson Imanari roll on Justin Gaethje when we finally get to see Justin Gaethje's top game? I didn't do any research prior to this. This is just me going off the top, just speculating about this contest. So you see what I'm talking about. We can speculate about mixed martial arts from now until the end of time. That's what makes this sport so fantastic. Which is also why I assume, especially if this event happens, sure, you're going to have the people out there that we already have saying that why would they do this? Why would the UFC create this event? Why would they, despite all of the issues that are coming with COVID, why would they choose to go in and have this event? Well, because the UFC, one of the most iconic first images was that fan in the audience with the Nike check on his chest that read "Just Bleed." We're a bunch of savages. For better, for worse, for smarter, for smart, for stupid, and we're a bunch of savages. This is just what MMA fans do. This is what MMA fighters do. This is what MMA coaches do. This is what MMA breeds. Savages that don't care. Is that smart? No. Should we have complete lockdown and shutdown? Yes. Should I even be working right now waiting to see, not only during a COVID epidemic, but in sub-freezing temperatures below 32 degrees while it is snowing, have the possibility for outside construction dirt work to be going on? No, we shouldn't. But human beings have never been the smartest individuals. Individuals like myself that choose to go out there and get punched in the face for fun for a menial paycheck. It's not very intelligent. We do things not based off of the possible implications behind them. We do things as simple and as plain as because we love to do it. We like to do it. And some people even do things just because they're not supposed to do it. Guys, this is Nick with Combat Sports World, official partner of UFC and MMA Fight Club, reminding you, despite COVID-19, despite not knowing if this event's going to take place, you personally, stay combative, my friends. Oh, but wait. Literally right as I get done shooting this video, Khabib Nurmagomedov comes out in a Facebook live stream and says, guess what? I'm still down. Send location. All you got to do is send location, which means on top of Justin Gaethje, on top of all of this, Khabib and camp apparently are now saying, if we can get that private jet, just send location. I will be there. Now, this could be Khabib Nurmagomedov simply understanding that all these people are saying that, you know, he's scared and this, and this, and you said send location, and now all of a sudden, if we have a location, now you're not going to fight. Now Khabib's saying, you know what? I will still fight. So on top of all the speculation that we just went over, once again proving my point, now we might even still have Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony Ferguson. Boys, it's not done yet. It's not done yet. It still might happen. Guys, this is a celebratory time. And now I understand, once again, this shouldn't be happening. Everything should be shut down. I should be shooting this video from my house, not from my work truck. But this is not the way the world works. Stay tuned, because I know that we're going to have even more information coming out in the next few hours, the next day, that might change absolutely everything. And you bet that Nick with Combat Sports World is going to be here to cover it. Oh, and guys, I forgot to mention, from this point forward, every single UFC event is going to be live streamed on this podcast. We're also going to be bringing multiple people over from the third largest MMA Facebook group in the world. So this chat is going to be popping. Every single contest, this live stream chat is going to be popping, okay? You got to trust me. Make sure to come back. Make sure to come back to the channel as well, because YouTube does not like to recommend our content. We're just too real for them. We just make too much sense. It's not a cat video, so they're not going to recommend it to you. So make sure to come back. Also, make sure to go check out more Combat Sports World. Also, once again, make sure to go check out the UFC and MMA Fight Club, only on Facebook. Third largest in the world, going to be second largest in the world too. And you know, just like Combat Sports World, just like the killers inside MMA, we don't stop until we're number one, baby. Stay combative.